Hey guys, it's Jaden. So, if you watched my other video discussing The Expanse, here is my true review of Season 4. I had to talk to a friend to really suss out my opinions of the entire season. So in Season 3, we're left off with the ring being stabilized and ready for the entirety of the human race to colonize 1,300 new planets. But we have an issue. We don't know why the proto-molecule exists, why the ring exists, who created the proto-molecule. I think the biggest question is, who the hell is strong enough to kill the creators of the proto-molecule, and where are they? This season splits into 4 storylines, with the Rossi crew serving as the A story, obviously. But a lot is happening, kinda. It all kind of starts with the Belters breaking through the ring and establishing a colony on Illis. In this season, the OPA is in a precarious position. The Earthers and the Martians don't trust the OPA. Old wartime, wounds and all. If the OPA is unable to sit there and actually control all the other factions, or if they break the truce, they will lose everything that they've worked on in making themselves a truly legitimate nation. Medina Station, the last gayest station in the universe. Or as I like to call it, the big giant Mormon behemoth god machine. With the ring open, it's caused a gold rush. People just need to go through because there's 1,300 planets and there's possibility of actually making something worth yourself. A big problem the OBE has is dealing with the people that cross into the ring or getting them to stop ramming the ring, unlike the Belters who broke through and established Illis. They don't want that to happen again because they don't know necessarily what to do with the ring currently. Sometimes refugees are taken and their ships are taken, and there's a whole line at the ring waiting for people to let them through so they can go and explore. It's not happening. So, Drummer and Ashford are dealing with the problem of hunting down the pirates, and that's an issue of Belter pride. They're punishing people for things that a couple months ago they would have cheered them for, while working essentially at the Inner's behest. At the UN, Christian Avasarala has deployed Holden and the Rossi crew to Illis, or New Terra, depending on whoever you talk to investigate the proto-molecule machine-looking ground. Essentially, when the Belters broke through, they transmitted some images. It looked like the proto-molecule. And no one can sit there and really trust that that place is utterly safe for other people to sit there and go. So you send the expert, Holden. Avasarala is dealing with questions of whether to let Earthers traverse the space and colonize, or wait until we know it's completely safe. The whole thing about colonization is brought up by Nancy Gao, who used to work on the UN Council, but resigned so she could run for Avasarala's spot. Since the ring conflict, the Rossi is a fully funded and recognized crew. They even have a shiny new railgun. The Rossi is sent to the Illis by, as I said, Avasarala, the UN, and they are walking into a war between the RC and the Belters that were already there. The RC was given a charter to explore the planets by Earth and Mars, but didn't consult the OPA, and the Belters are just living there. The RC also have had this horrible incident happen where a lot of people blew up when the RC tried to land, and Murtry is introduced. Murtry is this guy who becomes basically the head of security for the RCE, and he's horrible. The horrible person. He's trying to get justice for the people that died in the crash. Understandable, but the way he goes about it, a little much, very Ramses of him, very Ramses. Holden gets on the planet, Miller starts coming out of him and telling him where to sit there and go, and like the dodo bird that he is, he goes and follows. He turns on this dormant alien proto-molecule-esque planet, and everything goes to hell. The Rossi crew is stuck on a planet that's basically trying to kill them in 2 warring factions. Bobby's on Mars, discharged for treason. She gets involved with the Ring of Thieves. Honestly, that's her entire season. To me, Season 4 served as a transitional season from 3 to 5. The season's purpose is to reestablish a new status quo. I don't want another war between the 3 factions because I feel like at this point it'd be extremely reductive to the solar political growth that we've seen from seasons 1 through 3. But judging from the ending, with Marcos being there trying to throw some shit at people, a war's coming, things about to change. Amazon has really upped up the budget for The Expanse. Really appreciate that. It seems like an upscale version of Season 3. The show didn't even look bad before, but now it looks even better. The show is paced differently, so it's encouraged for you to give you more cliffhanger endings so that you keep binging. Don't know how I feel about that. I like it, but at the same time I don't. But I fell into the trap. My only gripe with the season is really just the action is very lackluster. Everything's very grounded, essentially. It's not a lot of space. I mean, there's a couple space, but the main people who are supposed to be in space aren't really in space. I commend the show on finding ways to get characters to interact with each other. I had no idea why we were on Mars with Bobby, because it didn't make any sense. But I guess she's a fan favorite character, and she played a significant role in season 3, so why would we get rid of her? Her entire part in Mars just shows us the Martian mentality, which I don't think we've gotten in any other season. The Martians are really about the one people, one Mars, and they're about, being a good Martian, about doing something knowing that you may not be able to see this project, but, my grandchildren will be able to see fruition. So Mars basically is going back to terraforming, and they're demilitarizing their entire military so they can actually focus on making an atmosphere for Mars. But you realize that Mars also has a lot of shady people in it, hence, Bobby getting involved in the thieving ring. Somehow, whatever Bobby stumbled into is kind of tied back to Marcos. Back on Illis, the introduction of Mercury kind of gave us a really good grounded villain to sit there and fight. It gave us a reason to sit there and hate someone, but it also grounded them so that they weren't like flying in space, doing flying in space things. I did not like that. I guess I have another gripe. But it's a different pace than we're used to with the Rossi crew because, they're still gonna get into the drama, the conflict, and some lore. So the big ending essentially was Miller controlling and taking the protomolecule and going to a dead zone inside the structures that are on the planet. And he went through the dead zone, so it seems like the protomolecule is gone, but don't really know whether that's true because the season kind of left me with a lot of questions on what is really true. Because is the protomolecule really gone? We still don't know who the builders are. We still don't know who the protomolecule killer builders are. There's so many unanswered questions that I don't know if we're going to get answers to it. I may have to start reading the book. I mainly predict with season 5 that Marcos is going to really start this war. I don't want the war, but it seems like we're going to get it. But I think the difference is that we're going to have a mixed faction with Marcos. People from Earth, people from the Belt, people from Mars on Marcos' side. Honestly, would really like to see that, but I just really don't want another war. Because the war has taken a toll on everyone else, and everyone's really trying to get that money and make themselves rich. But Marcos just can't leave well enough alone. So there's that. I think this show's a really good binge. Easily, every episode is an hour. It's not really hard to do. Everything is trying to make a Game of Thrones now. This is the Game of Thrones of space. I think people should watch it. Also, I know it can use the fans. It really can. Sci-Fi made a mistake in canceling the show. But at the same time, Sci-Fi wasn't big enough for this show. Kind of makes you wonder on how they made this in the first place. Because a lot of sci-fi shows aren't really the best, but when they have a hit, they have a hit. But I just don't think they could have really supported this in the long run. But it's all good. Anyway, I love the show. I love it. Want the world for it. So that's my video today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. Do you like The Expanse? Do you want to watch The Expanse? Let me know in the comments. Bye.